Students, greetings from Chitkara University. I am Narendra Garcha, and my expertise lies in the field of sales and marketing. Let me welcome you all to this session on marketing management. Let me also share with you what all we'll cover in today's session. We'll talk about customer value, why customer value is important, how to measure customer value, introduction to customer lifetime value, understanding customer lifetime value with certain examples, real-time experiences with companies, and we'll also share the references. I've been talking to you in my earlier session also that whatever is getting produced in terms of products, services, at the end of the day, all organizations, they have a similar objective. And that objective is to offer value to the customer. Whatever product a customer may use, or whatever service a customer may use, they are actually looking forward to as to how this product or service will offer value to them. And there are a lot of factors that come into play because at the end of the day, we use a product, but then that product goes through a journey of various aspects, which would include, the pricing part of it, the promotion, then the place from where we can procure it, and also they try and look at as to what all added features that they can give. So there's a lot of research that goes into product till an end customer would actually find out what value the product offers. So if we have to look at what customer value is all about, the customer's impression of the worth of your product and service is called customer value. As to how do I perceive the product? Do I feel good if I own that product? Do I feel bad? Do I feel that it is adding to my overall status? So that's worth can refer to a variety of factors, including the value of money offered by these items or services to your target market. As I told you earlier, and I shared with you earlier, that it is a combination of certain factors that helps create that kind of value for the customer. And we'll discover in our subsequent slides as to how these companies they try and offer that kind of customer value, and how do they measure customer value so that they can retain their existing customer, understand as to how the product is performing, what is the perceived value of the product or service, or what is the actual value of the product or service, and how can they work upon their product or service in order to create that kind of positive perception in the market or their target segment or the target market. So it's not an easy process, it's a complex process, because what we see at the end of the day is a product or service that we use for our benefit. But then the organizations are continuously researching. They are trying to create processes around it. They're trying to enhance customer experience at every customer touch point so as to ensure that customer actually perceives the value of the product or service for which he's paying an X amount. Because at the end of the day, we pay and we see there's a transfer of ownership between the buyer and seller. But then if you're paying an X amount for a particular product or service, we also want that product or service to perform. And that's probably the value that we get from. Now, performance also would mean different for different people. For some, it could be utility or features that product may offer. For some, it could be social status, owning that product. So we will discover about all these aspects and factors during the discussion and during the presentation shortly. Why customer value is important? It helps companies to attract potential customers and provide better services to existing ones, and can also build stronger trust and get existing customers to purchase more. Now, we know that the end objective of most of the organization, for that matter, is to convert potential customer into actual customer. Now, actual customer here means buying customer. Potential is somebody who's got the potential, who's got resources to buy the product or service. He's got the need and want to buy that product or service. So by gauging the customer value, most of the organizations are trying to offer better service so that they can retain their existing customer. This is again a very, very important segment for them, because it's not about acquiring or acquisition of a new customer, which is important. Retaining existing customer is equally important, because if you keep on gaining or adding the new customer and you forget about the old customer, I think that also is not a very healthy proposition for any growing organization, because otherwise these customers will move to the competition, and this is something they don't want. And that's the reason we see a lot of loyalty programs being initiated by a lot of organizations, because they want to build that kind of trust amongst their buyers, whether potential or actual. So for potential, they make them actual buyers, and for the existing ones, they want them to stay longer with the brand and enjoy the value of that brand. So that's what these organizations, they keep on doing. And I told you earlier that creating value is a complex process. It's not easy, and there's so many factors that come into play when we are trying to create that kind of actual value for the customer. And then value again is perceived differently by different people. I shared with you earlier as well. So that is something that needs to be kept in mind while we are talking about value creation. The most common product that we use these days, and I think most of us we have, is a mobile phone. And we buy mobile phones for different reasons. Yes, there is a need, there is a want. People need to connect with people, so definitely that need has been established in the market. And companies, they try and embed both product and services. I'll give you an example. You're getting both the things here. Once you buy a product, you can be happy or happier or delighted with the kind of product that you're using, based on the features and based on the advantage and based on the utility that it offers. But then later on, there is a series of services which are lined up to ensure that they are able to create that kind of value. Because today, if I buy a product and if there's something that needs to be done with certain features, and I get back to the company, how quickly they respond. That's very, very important, because we are talking about after sales services also. So we see a combination here. We see creating value at product level, and we see creating value at service level, and we are talking about the same product. So they try to embed the both in order to create unmatched customer value or experience. And this is probably what is the end objective of any professional organization. And that is how they try and create value run. And then, as I shared with you, it's a list of initiatives that they have to plan. It's not the ones that they've researched, they've understood the need of the market, they've looked at the wants and desires of the market, and then they design the product, and then they launch the product, and then they look at how the product is doing, how the customer is perceiving. Then there's a lot of other things that come into play, because they're trying to create that kind of a positive perception about the product. So again, it's a combination of both, because at the end of the day, it is all about experience. value creation is all about experience. How do I feel about the product? How do I look at that product? Would I like to own it? Would I like to even recommend it? Because these days there are a lot of surveys also. Once you use a service or a product, in that survey you find this question that are you happy? Are you liking the product? Would you like to recommend it to others? So again, these are part of the strategies that they have. But at end of the day, what they're trying to do is, one, they're trying to find out, uh, is their customer really happy with what he's using currently? What they need to do more to create that kind of value and even enhance customer experience. So companies do this on day in and day out basis. Okay. Now let's look at how to measure customer value. Customer value can be best measured by answering the following question: what are the customer benefits and what are the customer costs? I told you it's cost versus benefit always. If I'm paying an X amount to buy a product, what is it that I gain at the end of the day? Do I gain a good experience? Do I gain some added features that make me happy? Is it the utility? Because my perception of value could be different. But then, as an organization who's trying to bring a product to the market, they have to look at what are the trigger points when we talk about value creation, and are they trying to address all? Because for me, it is utility. For some, it could be using that brand, flaunting the brand. That could be one. For some, it is some better technology that that phone is offering. For some, it could be just a medium of communication. So the organization also trying to understand, that what is the customer, looking forward to. So we are trying to look at what are the customer benefits and what are the customer costs. So they try and look at the quality of product or service. If you have to measure customer benefits, so as a customer, you look at how the product is going to perform, how's the service, is it timely, there's good after sales service or not, are they responding on time or not, is there a lapse or they take a lot of time in resolution of any query which I put forth. So everything comes into play. How's the product, the packaging, how's the look and feel of the product. So we are trying to look at the benefits which these products and services offer. Then public image and company values, very, very important. Because I was talking about positive perception. This plays a major part while we decide on a brand. We try and also look at, I think, companies like Tata, companies like Nestle, companies like Apple, companies like Samsung. We know that what kind of public image that they've got and what are the values of these customers, of these organizations. People have been using their products and services for ages, and they're pretty happy with that. And we come to know about their happiness with the experience through various blogs, through certain promotional activities also of the organization. But overall, we understand that this organization has a great image, because if we talk about Tata, we start thinking about trust. So that's the kind of image Tata has been able to build over a period of time. We believe that Tata's products will never fail. They'll be of top quality. They will perform. And if I need any kind of help, even once I purchase the product or if I use the service, I will still get that kind of after sales service from the organization. And then we know that they've been able to build that kind of trust among people because they have strong values. They have strong company values, which has helped this brand actually to build that kind of trust amongst everyone, among their even internal stakeholders or external stakeholders. Customer service company provides very, very important. Sometimes I've seen companies losing business just because of bad customer service or poor customer service. And there are n number of studies which shows that when a customer he migrates or he leaves one brand and moves to another brand, it is actually not because of any technical reason. The major reason is poor or bad customer service the company provides. And once a customer decides to move from one brand to another, then he's actually not even looking at the other factors. Even if the other product to which he's migrating is little more expensive, he will not mind because he's completely unhappy with the existing customer service. So you can imagine that customer service plays an important role, very, very critical role, I would say, because goods are being sold on day in and day out basis. But if they're not able to serve the customer, they are not able to build that kind of value. They're not able to build that kind of positive perception about their product. You would have experienced it for yourself, not only talking about telecom service provider, even if you take your vehicle to a garage, you take it to any garage, you see there's a lot of unprofessional service that you get, unprofessional behavior of people, those who are there. They may take more time. It may lead to wastage of money, time, resources. But the moment you move to some organized repair center, right, maybe it is Ford or Tata or Hyundai, you immediately see first you are welcome by at the reception, and then they ask you, as to what is the kind of services that you're looking forward to. Then they give you you have an appointment with them. They will share with you that this is the time it will take, so you can go back to your home, or your car can be dropped at your doorstep, or you can wait in the waiting lounge. So again, they're trying to create that experience. Even your car would get serviced, you take to any local, repair shop or a service center. But then the difference is in the perceived value. Difference is in the value that any professional service provider would create, because one, he would like to acquire new customer, and the other one thing is to retain old customer. And they know if they provide good customer service through word of mouth, they will get recommended. Plus, they have a chance to create positive customer experience with the customer who's already using their product. And again, they also have a chance to upsell and cross-sell. So there are n number of benefits which one would derive, and this is what a customer actually looks forward to if he or she is trying to decide upon as to what kind of a product he or she is looking for. Ability to provide a better offering than competitors, very important. I think these days there's a race, because we know there are technologies in the market, we know there are diverse products in the market, and we know that there's certain products where the difference is not too great. But all of them, they are trying to create that kind of differential advantage. It's a cluttered market. There's competition, cutthroat competition all along. So every organization is trying to woo the customer by sharing some differential competitor edge. And they're saying this is how their product is better than the other. This is the added feature that they have been able to bring, in their product or service. So, if we talk about insurance services, most of the insurance services, they will issue policies, and they will also issue maturity claims, or claim settlement is also done. So how do they, sell it to the customer? They say that their claim settlement ratio is better than the competitor, because they are trying to hit that emotional chord, because most of the customers, they face a lot of problems when it comes to settlement of claims. Some companies may take, say, 1 month, some may take 2 months, or they may tell you that you need to fulfill these formalities. and the customer feels bothered and hassled. So there, that is what they try and communicate to the customer, that how are they offering, their offerings are better than the competitors. Even if we talk about vehicles, some vehicles talking about the average, or if we talk about Volvo and some other uh, you know manufacturers, they talk about safety. Safety is the plan, that our vehicles are the safest in the world. So that becomes their competitive advantage, and that is how we start perceiving their products as well. So what we're looking at is we're trying to measure customer benefit as to if we are looking at customer value, these two factors come into play big time. One is customer benefit, and the other one is customer cost. Now let's look at measuring customer benefit example. So if we talk about quality of product and service, I'm just sharing with you one example from Disney, an American entertainment company known for its iconic film and television holdings, as well as its international theme parks, toys, character. Disney has an obsessive focus on product quality. I think that people go crazy about this brand and the kind of experience. It's all about experience that is creating value for them. If somebody's paying for any of the service offered by Walt Disney or any product offered by them, I think it is all about experience. And Disney, let me tell you, they obsessively focus on product quality, and that is the reason they've been able to have that kind of positive perception among all age group. Uh, Moving on, as we were saying, public image and values. We know ITC has been there for quite some time, one of the respected corporate sector, diverse as confectionaries to cosmetics and apparels to hotels, is indeed a tall order and a leap of faith that the Indian government has managed to get its consumers to take. So they've been able to build that kind of value and trust that any product from ITC will be a great hit. And look at the way they have diversified. They've got into different business lines, from confectionery, they are there in cosmetics, they are in apparels, sector, they are in hotel business as well, and people trust them. People trust them big time because that's the kind of positive image they've been able to build for themselves, and that's the kind of values that they've been able to create. Okay, we are looking at still, measuring customer benefits. So let's look at customer service. So Bharti Airtel is one of the largest, mobile service provider with a subscriber base of 336 million. So due to its extent customer service, the company has added 50 million 4G customers, say, in year 2022, and the average revenue you can see has increased 162 level from rupees 122 an year ago. So you can imagine how service plays a major role in this. If I'm happy with Airtel, probably I will also go and recommend it to others. But if I'm not, I will tell 10 people that please do not use Airtel. So that's the way, everybody would look at the service that is being offered by different service providers. Ability to provide a better offering than competition. Yes, we were looking at how is my product better and what added advantage does it give to the end customer. So let's look at Vistara, the first airline in India to offer a value-based frequent flyer program called Club Vistara, where loyalty points are accrued based on actual spending on fares rather than miles traveled. They said no, whatever the points you'll accrue, it will be accrued not on the miles that you travel. It is actually on the fare that you pay. So they changed the way the market was initiating these loyalty programs, and that worked for them. And this customer found that this was a better strategy as compared to what other loyalty programs from other airlines were existing at that point in time. So we're looking at measuring the customer cost. We've looked at customer benefit. Now we are trying to look at customer cost, and there are two types of the cost. One is tangible cost, and the other one is intangible. So when we're talking about tangible cost, it is the price of your product or service that you actually pay. The installation or onboarding cost, we know it is sometimes it is not only the price that you pay in a showroom would suffice. There would be additional cost a product may attract in terms of installation. The cost of accessing your product or service, do I have to pay more if I have to really access my product? Maintenance costs, yes, there are certain, even if you buy a refrigerator, if you buy an air conditioner, you have to spend on maintenance as well. Renewal costs, definitely, there are certain products which you have to renew on time to time basis, even if you're taking any kind of service. Say, for example, we use the OTT platforms, the Netflix, and if you're using, say, any kind of cable network, so you have to pay a renewal cost as well. Intangible cost is the time invested buying your product or service, poor customer service, because this is all about experience. It is all about was that experience great? Was it delightful, or did it add to your stress? The reputation of the brand was poor. You took time, understanding how this product or service will work. That itself added to a lot of confusion, wastage of time, and it led to a lot of emotional stress. So these are intangible. You may not be able to touch them, but then you feel them. Experience is always felt. You can't touch an experience. It is felt. The moment you enter a hotel, how you greeted, is the staff professional in their demeanor, in their behavior, or are they unprofessional? What is the kind of, how's the food served? And once you leave, the hotel, is there somebody who still says thank you so much, we look forward to your next visit? Or is there any thing that brings about more delight to the customer, right? So these are all intangible costs, but then they add up. I shared with you that they add up while we're talking about the customer value. So customer lifetime value is a metric that represents total net profit a company makes from any given customer. Customer lifetime value is an important metric for determining how much money a company wants to spend on acquiring new customer, how much repeat business a company can expect from certain consumers. So this is becoming more process oriented. This is a science now, probably, where they're trying to gauge how can they acquire more customer, what is the average value or average customer lifetime. And from there, they can project, and they can also predict as to how many customers would they acquire and how many will stay with them for a longer period of time. So we're talking about customer lifetime value is more about average order value, purchase frequency rate, and average customer lifetime. Let's try and understand it through a very, very simple example, which says, let's consider a coffee shop business where customer lifetime value needs to be calculated. So local coffee chain with 3 locations has an average sale of, say, $4. Typical customer is a local worker who visits 2 times per week, 50 weeks per year over an average of 5 years. So if we have to calculate the customer lifetime value, so this comes to around about $2,000. It's a very, very simple formula that you can see on the slide. And then most of the companies, they try and remain in the profitable customer zone because they're the one who will stick around. They are the ones who will be there, with them and contributing to the profit of the organization. So let's look at customer value through some real-time experience. Amazon Kindle owners spend approximately $1,233 per year buying stuff from Amazon, compared to $790 per year for other customers. So Amazon pays close attention to customers' lifetime value because they've been there for quite some time. They also look at the loyalty of the customer. Crocs always had a data-driven, customer-centric approach to marketing. Crocs used customer lifetime value to understand customer with highest churn and the customer that weren't price sensitive to promote them differently. So every organization has its own way of interpreting it and then projecting what kind of sale that they would be doing. One of the most effective ways to boost customer lifetime value is to increase customer satisfaction, because Bain and company has found that 5% increase in customer satisfaction can lead to 25% to 95%. So due to higher customer satisfaction, Starbucks customer life value has been calculated at $14,099. Just imagine. This is huge. Let's look at Netflix, and we are talking about customer life value is $291.25, and they know customers are impatient. They don't like to wait for movies. So they've added features where you can stream movies on web, which not only satisfies your movie urge, but keeps you busy while you're waiting. So you can look at different ways of how they're engaging with the customer and how they are trying to look at customer lifetime value, because that helps them predict how many customers they're going to acquire in future, what is the satisfaction level, how many of them are happy, how many of them will leave and move to competition, or how many of them would remain loyal to them for a longer period of time and would help them build that kind of relationship. So this is what helps us understand customer value. And at the end of the day, most of the organization, as I shared with you, their end objective is to create customer value, create a positive perception about the product in the market. Because, and I told you, it's a combination of so many factors, so many aspects will come into play when we're talking about customer value. So these are certain references, books and web link that I would like to share, which you can refer to while you are trying to know more about this topic. So thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Take good care of yourself, and God bless.